Welcome to WUFT's Reptile Report. I'm Elise Four.
And I'm Daniel Haviv. Thank you for joining us.
The Florida Gators gymnastics team is one of the most consistently successful teams on campus. The Gators have 2 more regular season meets before competing in the SEC championships. This team has left behind a legacy and they aren't done yet. I talked with head coach Jenny Rowland about this year's team. The Florida Gators gymnastics team is one of the most well-known and well-respected gymnastics teams in the country. Last year, the Gators competed in the national championship and finished runner-up against Oklahoma. This year, the Gators are hungry for more. The Gators defeated Kentucky on their senior night to capture the Southeastern Conference regular season championship for a 5th consecutive season. Gators gymnastics head coach Jenny Rowland has more on the team and their motivation.
I think the team's biggest motivation this year is really each other. Last season was amazing, incredible, many highs, many highlights, many records broken, one little thing missing. And, I think that's just something that this team continues to strive to achieve. That's a goal that they, keep in mind. And really, in the process, making the most of each day with each other, because no 2 years are ever alike. You're never going to have the same team twice. So really making the most of what this team has built and created for each other.
Freshman Kayla DiCello paced the Gators on the balance beam with a 9.925. And on the floor, senior Peyton Richards matched her career best score with a 9.925 as well. The Gators will travel to Oklahoma this weekend and then will compete in Denton, Texas for a quad meet to wrap up the regular season. On March 18th, the Gators will compete in the SEC championship meet, hoping to reclaim the postseason title that they won last year. For Reptile Report, I'm Elise Four.
The Florida Gators soccer team has added 2 new transferred midfielders to their roster. Reptile Report's Ashley Hearn introduces us to the new additions.
Madison Jones and Lauren Donovan are making their first debuts as Gators after transferring to Florida following the 2022 season. Jones is Florida born and raised, but comes from SEC rival Kentucky. She says she's thankful to experience the Gator Nation culture while having the opportunity to compete in her home state.
I transferred here because, one, the history of the program, the academics, the sports, no one could top it. And it was just a welcoming campus, and staff and just everything about it was pretty ideal.
Like Jones, Minnesota transfer Lauren Donovan finds Florida to be the perfect fit. Being a Gator runs in her family, which makes wearing the orange and blue even more meaningful.
I just kind of look around and I'm just in awe. This has been a dream since I've been 6 years old, and it just gives me chills every time I even think about it. Putting on a Gators jersey, being number 15, that's my favorite number. So it was just meant to be and the greatest opportunity.
Both transfers look forward to being a part of the program head coach Samantha Bohan is trying to build. The Gators finished 2-14-1 last season, but remain determined to switch the script.
Obviously, we had a fall that wasn't ideal, but we're working, and we're working really hard. We kind of may be the underdogs, and I think just be aware we're going to be the hardest working team. We're going to fight for each other, and we're just going to compete to win.
The Gators fell to UCF 2-0 in the first game of the spring, but the team remains optimistic. Jones, Donovan, and the rest of the Gators squad will continue their spring season slate with the home match against Jacksonville on March 5th. For Reptile Report, I'm Ashley Hearn.
The Gators women's lacrosse team has been the top of national rankings this past decade. I had the opportunity to highlight the winning program and recap their big game against Maryland.
The Florida Gators women's lacrosse team is one of the best in the nation. Florida's lacrosse program was founded recently in 2010, and impressively, they already have 11 NCAA tournament appearances, and they made it to the Final Four in 2012. Some fans have been concerned that they don't receive as much exposure as some of the school's most popular sports.
Well, first and foremost, I've been involved with lacrosse for quite some time. I think the first thing is it should be on regular TV, not always have to be streamed. And the other thing is we continue and need to grow the sport. That's the biggest issue. And just getting it out there on TV is the best way to do it.
I'm here at Donald R. Disney Stadium just hours before the number 7th ranked Florida Gators take on the number 6th Maryland Terrapins in a big top 10 matchup. The game was close from start to finish and featured multiple lead changes. Unfortunately, in the end, Maryland defeated Florida 14-13 in a hard-fought game.
I thought we did a really, really good job. We were a little slow getting out of the locker room, but once we made that adjustment, I thought we did really well. I thought the team, came back from a deficit, played hard, played well, and I think we saw some really good things that we did on the offensive end and on the defensive end. Certainly some things we need to clean up, but overall, Maryland's a great team, and I thought we hung with them really, really well.
The Gators season has only just begun. They'll look to get back in the win column and chase after their first national championship in the program's short history. From Reptile Report, I'm Daniel Haviv.
The lacrosse team won their match against Furman yesterday and will go against Arizona State on Sunday at Disney.
Coming up on Reptile Report, the UF club hockey team competed in the College Hockey South playoffs. We'll have more when we come back. The College Hockey South playoffs mark the end of the Florida Gators Hockey Club 2022-2023 season. Reptile Report's Ailey Shanes recaps the Gator season and success.
The Florida Gators club hockey team competed in the College Hockey South playoffs this weekend. Sadly, after 2 straight losses, they had to settle for 6th place, with the University of Tampa Spartans taking home the conference championship trophy. Matthew Burkle-Jasek, a sophomore defenseman for the Gators, said the boys gave it their all in the 2 close matchups, even with a ton of adversity.
All the boys were ready, and we had an unfortunate coaching situation leading up a week before, so our coach couldn't make it this weekend. So last minute, because he couldn't make it, we had to find a couple of coaches just for this final weekend, this final push. Some alumni, great guys, and honestly, it was a great game.
But even though they didn't get the results they wanted this past weekend in Huntsville, Alabama, this season was no short of a success for the Gators, and a sign that this team is trending towards even further success in the seasons to come.
Throughout the year, I thought just continuous improvement. We would see results that we didn't see in the past.
The Gators finished with a 9-3-0-2 conference record and a 13-6-1 overall regular season record. They also won the annual Savannah Hockey Classic tournament for the 2nd straight year.
It meant a lot. We came in totally new. I know in the year before that, we had a bunch of guys that had been playing for a long time, a ton of returners, a lot of veteran players in the team. So that win meant a lot for them because we haven't won that prior to that for a lot of the guys that were on the roster in the years that they've been enrolled at UF.
The success has also come with a ton of off-ice financial support, which they did not get a lot of last season. They specifically got major support from an equipment and jersey brand called Verbero, which allowed the team to sell replica jerseys and fund their program.
A big part of this, they do it for so many teams, especially in the CHS, the College Hockey South. They've reached out to so many teams to help them out because they have the resources, they have the technology and whatnot, and the brand awareness, so they can directly put us in contact with customers and hockey fans out there that may not know. So they've done a phenomenal job. They come out to all of our events.
The future is bright for the Gators, and Burkle-Jasek says in due time, they will reach the same status as the University of Tampa and FAU, 2 powerhouses in the Florida club hockey realm. For the Reptile Report, I'm Ailey Shanes.
There are plenty of unique sports teams here in Gainesville. Reptile Report's Jolie Katzen visited the Roller Rebels to give us a glimpse of the passionate roller derby community.
I'm here at the bridge, where the Gainesville Roller Rebels are practicing hard as they prepare for an exciting 2023 season. The Roller Rebels are a roller derby team here in Gainesville, Florida. After nearly 4 years of not being able to compete in bouts due to COVID, the skaters are amped up to finally get back onto the track.
I'm really excited for this season because we have basically a lot of our team this year is new. So we have a ton of people who have never, and myself included, because I joined in September of 2019 and then we had the pandemic. So a lot of people right now have never been to a bout before. We've done scrimmages and sort of less formal things, but this will be the first season where we've all played together as a team.
It's cool to see the excitement gearing up to this first season because people are hungry. They're ready to come back and see the game. They're ready to see the Roller Rebels.
The core values of the Roller Rebels are athleticism, community, and empowerment. They focus on being a safe space within the Gainesville community for women, gender-expansive, and gender-nonconforming people.
Our skaters are both women and non-binary folks. And then as part of our league, we have people of all genders who are our refs and our volunteers and our non-skating officials. But I think it is really important to have a space where women and non-binary folks can kind of like be themselves and be athletic and really be challenged.
The Rebels' first home bout is April 8th against Sunshine City. It will take place at the MLK Center. For Reptile Report, I'm Jolie Katzen.
Coming up on Reptile Report,
Ashley Hearn and Jolie Katzen are talking all things Gators basketball. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Reptile Report. I'm Ashley Hearn.
And I'm Jolie Katzen.
This is an extremely busy time for Gator athletics as we come at the intersection of sports that are ending in the fall, and now we have new spring sports.
The Gator basketball season comes to a close, and although it hasn't been the most ideal season for the Gators, especially with the injury of key player Colin Castleton earlier last month, the Gators still try and end on a high note.
That's right, and last night we completed our series sweep against SEC rival Georgia. That ended our 3-game losing streak, which is crucial for the Gators.
And I don't know about you, but that win just felt like more of a win to me. Being able to sweep former Gator basketball head coach Mike White was definitely a statement, and I'm really eager to see if the Gators will be able to improve their SEC record to 9-9 against LSU this weekend.
And speaking of this weekend, all the buzz is around baseball. The Gators baseball come in at number 6 in the nation, and they're facing off against number 22 Miami in a 3-game series.
Last weekend, the Gators were able to sweep Cincinnati and made history all in the process. They went for a program record of 8 home runs in one of the games. Ashley, do you think the Gators will be able to sweep Miami this weekend?
It will definitely be difficult, but I think the Gators will be able to pull through. They have a strong starting rotation, and Miami is coming off their first away loss against FAU. So if the Gators are able to capitalize off the Hurricanes' falter earlier in the week, I think we'll be okay.
And since we're speaking of ranked teams here, let's take a look at the number 7 in the nation Gators lacrosse team.
I'm excited for this year's campaign. They beat number 17 Michigan to start off their season, but then they fell last week to number 1 North Carolina and a close loss to number 6 Maryland. They're currently 2-2, but I think facing these top 20 ranked teams early in the season will set a good tempo for the rest of their games.
In just 4 games, the Gators have been able to make history and are racking in those awards. We have Emma Lapinto, who has scored 15 goals already and has become the fastest player in Gator history to reach 100 points.
All these sports we mentioned today in Gator Bites will be kicking off this weekend, so stay tuned.
That's all for this episode of Reptile Report.
if you want to watch previous episodes of Reptile Report, you can follow us at Reptile Report TV.
I'm Daniel Haviv.
And I'm Elise Four. Thanks for watching.